something entirely different. Our last new content to Hearthstone was Next Ramus, which is traditionally in WoW, it's kind of a dark, scary place. Of course, we lightened it up a little bit, as we do. But for Goblins vs. Gnomes, for our very first expansion, we wanted something in another direction. So we thought, what's the opposite of kind of dark? And we went light and whimsical, which I think Goblins vs. Gnomes completely encapsulates. The races are funny and wacky, and they give a lot of opportunity for excitement and fun and frenzy. So that is very different, and we were totally going for that. And that's kind of the primary objective. We got something new and different out of Goblins vs. Gnomes.
Oh, that's cool. And besides that, did you think about changing the metagame entirely? Because that's something that is actually happening, or did you just go along with the lines of the new cards of what you thought about that?
Yeah, I mean, the goal was to just blow up the metagame, and anytime we add cards, it's going to have a huge impact. But we wanted to, I mean, that's basically the reason to release new cards, to keep the game fresh and exciting, and it certainly did that.
And how is the beta testing process you guys follow to create new cards? So none of them seems to be very overpowered before the launch of the game.
I'm sorry, say that one more time for me?
How is the beta testing process how was for Goblin vs. Gnome? How did you do so none of the cards you created are overpowered when the game is launched?
Oh, okay. Well, one of the things we did since the launch of the game was staff up a really talented, balanced team. And these guys are just awesome dudes, and they spend basically all day playing the new cards and testing them and tweaking numbers and making sure both that they're really fun to play and really balanced, as well as that there's enough tools in there to help the metagame shift around. Cards like the Little Exorcist, who is really good against Death Rattle decks, and Kazan Mystic is good against Secrets. And cards like that really help make sure that the metagame doesn't kind of get stagnant and that it keeps moving around.
Do you remember a card that changed quite a bit during this beta test, or you didn't like at the beginning and then you changed it?
I was looking at the old file recently, and pretty much every card changed dramatically. One of the cards that changed kind of late in development was Power Mace for the Shaman. It used to just be a spell that buffed mechs and totems, and after we tested it a lot, we had a much better design that we were much happier with. But really, most of the cards in Goblins vs. Gnomes changed dramatically after playtesting.
So, how long have you been working on this expansion? Because it seems like you have been working for a long time ago.
That's true. We want to always make sure that we get things right, and so we try to give ourselves a lot of time to iterate. And like Rose said, with card design, that's very important. We have to have the time to tweak and make sure that nothing's too overpowered and everything's still fun. So it's not just an overnight process to create a new expansion of cards, and we've definitely been working on Goblins vs. Gnomes for a little bit of time to make sure it was great when we released it last week.
And what do you think about random elements of this expansion in the competitive scene? Aren't you afraid of people saying that X player won because he was lucky and got that particular card? Or is something you were looking for, that kind of randomness in the competitive scene?
Randomness is really important to Hearthstone, and it's not immediately obvious, but randomness can actually increase the amount of skill required to play Hearthstone. The best players are the best at problem-solving brand new situations they've never seen before, and when you have a lot of random elements in the game, you end up with a lot of novel scenarios that you haven't memorized the solution to. And so for the really great players, they are the best at problem solving, and they get to use their superior skill to overcome these brand new situations more frequently. So randomness does make a difference, but skill is very important still, and it's how you win games, and that's why we have such consistent winners in tournaments.
That's right. This question is going to be a little bit difficult to explain, so I hope I express myself properly. Now you have an adventure mode and an expansion. On physical card games, there are the so-called blocks. In Spanish, it's something like bloques. There are usually two types, standard and extended. Standard is the most played format and it's the one allowed to be used on tournaments, while the extended one is the one made for fun. Its purpose is to take away old cards, so when you work on the new expansion, you don't have to worry about those old cards, and they won't mess up with the new cards. Do you plan doing something similar for Hearthstone, or the cards we have currently are the ones we are gonna use them forever?
That's something that we are still discussing a lot. We could go a lot of different ways there. I think we're a little bit too early in Hearthstone's history to really know the exact right direction for the game, and there aren't enough cards yet where that's become a concern for us. It is something that we will be monitoring closely, and then we will have to figure out the direction we want to take once we're at a point where we feel like we need to, make sure that it's easy for new players to get in, or that there isn't an overwhelming number of cards for tournament play. But once we feel like we've reached that point, we will do something, and we are still discussing our options there. We still have some time, I think.
Okay, that's a good question. Actually, that was a really good question people ask us, so it was very important for me to ask it for you.
That's a great question.
That was a serious question. Then the next one is about the spectator mode. Spectator mode was something that people were asking a lot. It were, for months, and it has improved the competitive scene for Hearthstone to a whole new level, because you don't have to use Skype or have both players physically there, so you can stream the tournaments. So, have you ever think about this another feature that you are working on that might be so relevant in the future for the competitive scene? Something new, something we haven't seen before? Because this is something people have been asking, but you have surprised us before, so one might ask.
Well, we're really excited that people are as hyped about spectator mode as we are. Spectator mode was born of the love of watching each other play in the office, and also of the community being very excited to be able to share their experiences with each other. So the fact that that's been received as well as it has is just music to my ears. I love that. We are still brand new to spectator mode, though, and we're going to see the opportunities there without forging ahead to figure out what else can we add. So we don't have any current plans for other features like this, but spectator mode is a great addition. I totally agree, and I think it will help both esports and friendly casual play alike to get more Hearthstone love.
And about fireside gathering, because that's a good plan for community, especially like Barcraft. So have you think about that too for the future?
We are super hyped about fireside gatherings. We had one this weekend. We've had several that a bunch of us on Team 5 have attended. We love hearing about them. We are always trying to encourage more people to play Hearthstone in that kind of setting because it's best with friends. So we're very excited about continuing the future of fireside gatherings and making that a part of Hearthstone, a staple of the game.
And hey guys, sorry to interrupt you, Andre. I think we have time just for one final question because it's already we're already on time.
Okay, sorry. Yes, it's gonna be the last one. Perfect. On March 11th, Hearthstone was officially launched for PC. On July 22nd, we had our first adventure mode, Cards of Ramas, and now we have the first expansion called Goblin vs. Gnome on December 8th. All of that within this year, 2014. That's a lot of stuff for a single game. Can we expect something even better for 2015? More expansion, more adventure mode, or both?
I absolutely think you can expect more from us in 2015. It's a really exciting year. We have a lot of great stuff that we are talking about. And the biggest thing we have to do, though, is pay attention to the feedback from you guys about how the adventure and the expansion were received and what you guys like about them, what you didn't like about them, and then we're going to take that information back with us and figure out kind of what the best strategy is for releasing new cards and new content. We have some cool ideas, and so far we're very excited about 2015, but we aren't ready to share any of those ideas just yet.
Oh. Okay, thank you very much for the interview.
Thanks a lot, Mariana.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Congrats on the Game Award for Hearthstone, though. I haven't seen it yet, but
Thank you.
congrats. That was awesome.
Thank you very
And
much.
Merry Christmas, too, since we are close to Christmas.
Thank you. You as well.
Bye-bye.